Good morning, we are live for Sunday service. It is 12 noon here in the United Kingdom. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. Who is joining? We are live, we're at Kitchen Table, we're ready for Sunday service. Number one, can you hear me? Number two, can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live for Sunday service here on Aunty, the Uncensored Reviewers Facebook page. You are live with me now. Hello, everybody. How are we? Let me know in the comments where you're watching. Give me that like, give me that love, give me that share. Let's share the love. If I do that, apparently you should get a love heart. Did you get a love heart? Did you get a firework? Did you get a thumbs up? Who knows? But we are live for Sunday service at Kitchen Table. Gemma Patterson says, sound and vision, all good. Well then, here we are. How are we? Are we well? Are we happy? Happy New Year to you all. That is now the last ever time I will say it in 2025. We're in January, the month that has 197 days. But I'm here to lighten your day up a little bit with a bit of Sunday service. What we do here is read out some Dear Aunty Nellies. The answers are completely off the cuff and purely for entertainment purposes. Do not take these to heart. Do not take these as professional advice. So we're here live in at Kitchen Table, where most of the international and nations problems are dealt with. So you write into the page, whether that be Sunday service or Night Time with Nelly. I open the box and I read out the question and you hear the question. We both read it and hear it for the first ever time. I have no idea what's inside the box. That's the joy of the show. If I did know what was in the box, then I guess making the replies would not be as off the cuff, clearly not, and it may not be as comical or funny. So it is a light entertainment agony hour show. And any reply I do give is purely for entertainment purposes. There may be strong language throughout, so you have been advised. Through discretion is always advised. Now, I think I have covered all the rules of meta. I think. John Gilruth says, Nelly, can you service me? I'm not very good with shit like that. I take my car to garage. He does a winter service, he does the MOT, checks it all out, so I'm not the best person to service. Unless we're being sexual, John. If we are being sexual, John, then number one, there would have to be chemistry between us. And number two, 6 years in August, my garage has been shut, shop's been shut. I'm not interested in servicing you. Or even Tom Hardy, should he appear in the kitchen. Number one, because he's a married man and I'm not a cheating cunt. But number two, I've no interest. But good afternoon, everybody. We are live for Sunday service. How are we all? Give me that like, give me that love, give me that share. Lots of people are joining. I can see now people queuing up, jumping on the live, ready for some light-hearted information to maybe their problems. If you've wrote into Sunday service, I could be reading yours out. Who knows? Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different as well. If there's anybody brave enough to jump on camera with me and ask me a question, maybe you're in a bit of a spot of trouble, a bit of dilemma, and you want some online advice immediately from your Aunty Nelly, please do ask to join this live and we can listen to your Dear Aunty Nelly and I will answer it for you. I am aware that maybe people may not want to do that. That's also okay, but the choice is there. Let's go. Good afternoon and welcome to Sunday service. Dear Aunty Nelly, here we go. I feel completely tricked by my girlfriend. We met online in 2023 and spent the first 6 months just talking. Okay? She was friendly and funny and I loved our nightly calls. Oh, that's nice. Eventually we planned a weekend away and it was amazing. I felt like we'd known each other forever. Okay. After that weekend, everything changed. Oh, okay. We still talked, but now we only meet when she wants me to buy her something. Oh, Okay. She seems like a completely different person, almost like she doesn't like me anymore. Most of the time, I feel like I just annoy her. What did I do wrong? So, I think you have been a little bit tricked, really, but not in the sense of where you think you've been scammed or duped. So, you're allowing that to happen. But let's start at the beginning. You met somebody online. I'm all for it. That's fine. You get talking. 6 months later, you actually meet in real life. You book a weekend away. You spend a great weekend together. You even say that, you know, you slept together. Everything was great. After the weekend ended, you've gone home. She's gone home. And then it's kind of changed. So in the moment of meeting each other, did you both look like what you thought you looked like? Have you FaceTimed, or were it just phone calls, and were it just text messaging, WhatsApping, whatever? That can sort of dampen down. Now, I think sometimes it's the thrill of the chase that is the excitement. And if the person that you met after courting online, then you've met in real life, she may feel that the thrill of the chase has kind of gone. You slept together, you might have thought it was amazing, she might have thought it's not actually what I thought. And then you meet up now and again because she says, hiya, do you want to meet on Saturday? I want some trainers, and you're buying the trainers. Yeah, this is happening because you're allowing it to. She certainly doesn't feel for you what you feel for her. You wanted this to be a relationship that continued now in the real world after meeting online and getting to know each other online. She's clearly not that into you. And I don't mean that in the harshest of terms or to be brutal to you, but she absolutely is not that into you. And it hurts, but all she sees you for now is a bit of a cash cow. That is happening because you're allowing it to. If you want to be used as a cash cow, you crack on. But what I suggest you do is, the fact that you've said here that she's gone a little bit different, she doesn't really talk as much, well, you don't need to talk as much. Don't talk as much. She says, hi, how are you? So I'm fine, thanks, how are you? Leave it at that. Let it kind of peter out. Sometimes people show us exactly who they are. It's a walking red flag, is that you're choosing to miss. She's showing you exactly who she is. I don't mind being with you. I don't mind seeing you. What can you buy me? The relationship has changed. She's not that into you. You're not what she thought. The thrill of the game has gone. So there you go. So what do you do now? You've done nothing wrong. It's just one of those relationships that in real life, the fantasy, the excitement around it isn't what she thought. And you can't have a relationship with yourself. So let it go. Be polite. You know, be polite, be nice, but I would not be reaching out first. If she reaches out, be very nice with pleasantries. If it comes to where, do you want to meet because I need, sorry, no, I'm busy. Let her go and spend somebody else's money or her own if she has any kind of self-worth. So moving on. Hello and welcome to Sunday service. Any advice I do give to any dear Aunty Nelly is purely for entertainment purposes. Let's go. Dear Aunty Nelly, me and my girlfriend were together for 5 years when I found out, oh dear, bit triggering this for some. Right, I'm going to move on to the next one because I don't like that. And like I said, that's the joy of the show sometimes. You open it, I read it for the first time, and if there's no kind of warning words in there, it won't have been filtered out. But I'm not going to read that because it's a bit triggering. It could be quite upsetting for some people. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, I'm 58 and I've just got divorced. Congratulations, hopefully you're happily divorced. I now feel that I want to meet somebody new. Oh, but the idea of dating websites scares me. Yes. I think I look okay. Okay, that's good. And I'm fun. That's always good. I don't have any good pictures of myself though. And I really feel awkward on a first date. Do you think I should try online dating? Because I'm not sure what else to do. How else am I going to meet someone? Okay. So, you're ready to dip your big toe back into the murky waters. Plenty more fish in the sea and all that nonsense. Right. Online dating can be absolutely fabulous. You get to know the person other than you would in a noisy bar or at the pictures, certainly, because you don't speak. But yeah, you can ask each other questions like, you know, what are your deal breakers? What kind of things do you like to do? What's your favourite foods? How social are you? How close you are to your family? Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you use recreational drugs? You can like kind of filter out the people that you're not keen on. That's great for that. Also, pictures. Yeah, he may rock up and the picture that he's shown you may have been from 30 years ago when he felt his best. I think the thing with online dating is you can get to know the person and like the person. Don't try and focus too much on the picture. When you say you don't have any good pictures, I'm sure you have got pictures, you're just being a bit critical. And if you feel that them pictures you've got are not good pictures because they're from, I don't know, your prom or when your kids graduated, they're not recent, just take a few selfies. They do not have to be perfect. They certainly don't have to be edited or filtered. Please don't do that, because there's nothing more disappointing that when you actually go and meet that person, they look absolutely nothing like the pictures. You want that person to like you. You want that person to like you as you are, regardless of makeup or gym gear or sat having a coffee. Don't worry too much about them being professional pictures. Just get a friend to take a picture of you in a full length outfit if you want. Don't worry too much. It can feel really awkward on a first date, whether you've met them online or whether it's somebody that you've been introduced to, or somebody says, I'm going to put you on a blind date, or it's somebody that you've met and then you're going to actually go out on a date. Yeah, that's normal to feel a little bit awkward, a little bit nervous. Maybe you've been out of the dating pool for quite some time. But just see it as a new person that you're meeting. It's a new interaction. It's a new person. So, you read any good books lately? How do you take your coffee? What do you like to do in your free time? Do you know, what kind of, I don't know, TV programme have you watched last? What can you recommend? Before you know it, you get those nerves die down slightly and it just becomes a normal conversation. So don't worry about that. When you say, how am I going to meet somebody unless I go online dating? I don't agree with that, because there's plenty of places. I'm not saying keep walking around your local supermarket and, you know, giving the eye to somebody you may find attractive, but have you thought about a walking group, a book club? You know, do any of your friends know of anybody, maybe a cousin or a brother? There's lots of things out there. There's things like speed dating. You know, there's lots of ways you can meet people in normal life other than online. But I'm not saying don't do online. So my advice to date online would be, have those conversations, filter out the people you don't think you'll connect with because of lifestyle choices. Don't look too much into the pictures. As long as it's as recent as it can be, that's great. But, you know, who looks like a GQ supermodel? We don't do a GQ? GQ? Is that even a magazine? Anyway, other magazines will be available if that even exists. But yeah, don't worry about it. A nice picture of you, looking like you, smiling, laughing, in normal surroundings, fine. And hopefully they're doing the same. And then just go. Make sure it's in a very busy place. Make sure somebody knows where you're going. Yeah, and just enjoy yourself. If you feel like the time's now, the time you're ready, get going. Go and try it out. And even if you are talking to people online, doesn't ever mean to say you have to meet them if you don't feel that connections. And please look out for catfish and scammers. Do not ever give any personal details online. Please keep yourself as anonymous as possible, and do not ever buy into, I work on an oil rig, I'm a surgeon, I've lost all my money, I can't access my bank account, my child needs surgery. Don't fall for all these scamming things that are so big out there. Some people are being taken for a lot of money and taken by fools. So if it sounds too good to be true, or it sounds a little bit like a soap opera or a drama, don't do it. So yeah, online scammers is something to keep at the... I'd be more wary of an online scammer than I would of a catfish photo. But chances are, if he's absolutely gorgeous and blah, 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 you could always do a Google search to see if that photo's been used in other profiles, if they are scammers, if they're just these love-bombing people. If somebody online starts telling you they feel a real connection with you after speaking once, and they're in love with you and they want to spend their life with you, it's probably a scammer. If somebody's asking you for money, it's probably a scammer. If people are asking you to move away from the platform onto WhatsApp or onto a Gmail or onto a Skype quite quickly, it's probably a scammer. So yeah, just have your wits about you. Dear Aunty Nelly, I'm 30 and I've got a couple of problems. You're only allowed one. Thank you. Thank you. Got a couple of problems when it comes to relationships. Firstly, I'm bisexual, but I've never been in a relationship with a man or a woman. Okay. Then my second problem, so the first problem is you're bisexual. I don't see that as a problem, but maybe you do, but let's go on. The second problem is I'm still a virgin. Okay. You're 30, bisexual and a virgin. I'm not quite gisting the dear Aunty Nelly here, but let's crack on. I feel lonely most of the time and it makes me really sad. I just want to be with someone soon. Can you help? Well, you're way out my age range. I'm 50 and I wouldn't date somebody who's 30 because that's my daughter's age. So I can't help you with let me date you. And you're bisexual. That shouldn't really be an issue. What the issue is here, you're 30. You're lonely, and that's okay. And I think if a lot more of us were very open and honest about how we actually feel, then the world would be a little bit nicer, because we do get lonely. Even your Aunty Nelly gets lonely. Me and my 17 personalities. Listen, being 30 and a virgin and bisexual isn't an issue. I love the fact that you're still a virgin, only because you're true to yourself. You haven't met somebody. You haven't given yourself away. You've not been unpaid to get your virginity lost. You've not rushed to lose it. I quite like this about you. It says something about you. It's nice. It is nice, that. That's not an issue. The issue I have is you're lonely, and I don't want your bisexuality or your virginity to stop you and put you in a state of fear where the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get. It's not about finding a man or a woman or losing your virginity. It's about you starting to make relationships. Open yourself up for love. Open yourself up for connections. Doesn't mean to say you have to have sex and lose your virginity. What it means is you're happy to start interacting with other people. You may meet a man, the same gender as you. You may meet a woman, the same gender as you. I don't know your gender, you've not said. And you may just feel that immediate connection. And it may look like to the outside world it's a heterosexual relationship, let's just say. But maybe it isn't. What does it matter what your sexuality is? If you meet somebody that you truly have chemistry with, you get a brilliant feeling when you're around them, you can't wait to see them, you love talking to them, you're both on the same page. That is fantastic. And you may have 2 or 3 people that you start dating with just to see who you connect better with and who it is that you really want to see again. It's a suck it and see when you're dating, when you're in that dating pool. Who does it more for you? And it's not all about physically, it's about mentally, emotionally. Who is emotionally intelligent to be on the same page as you? Who would be the person most deserving of being in your life? Who would not hinder your life? What do they bring to the table? Once you've got all that figured out and you started having a social life, and you can still have a social life with friends and family, invite people round without it having to be a romantic connection. Don't forget that. When we're feeling lonely or a bit sad or a bit down, that has got nothing to do with your sexuality or your virginity. Get yourself out there, go round and see a friend, ask to meet for coffee, see if somebody wants to go to the pictures with you. Sorry, it's not called pictures now, what's it called? The cinema with you, the movies. See if somebody wants to do something with you, go for a walk, join a group. Get yourself out there a little bit more. Then when you start making connections with people, it's not about your bisexuality, it's about who you actually vibe with. And then sex will come when the time is right. It hasn't come up to now, you're 30, there's been no rush, and that's brilliant. But I think when the time is right, and that time is right for you, not for them, not for what, well, obviously it's got to be consensual, but for you, when you feel it's time, It will be a wonderful experience for you. So I wish you the best of luck for that. But I think an important message here is, if you're no longer in a relationship, you don't want a relationship, you haven't got a relationship, feeling lonely doesn't mean to say that you need a relationship. Sometimes we jump into relationships and make bad decisions just because we are feeling lonely. We think the person we're with, even if we are in relationships, is better than being with nobody. And I think you're really crucifying yourself there, because life is a really rich tapestry and we can find joy in lots of different adventures and chapters of life. And I'm single. I've been single for the past 6 years and I'm more than happy to say, shop shut, I'm not interested. Will it ever open again? Who knows? But for the time being, I am celibate, absolutely, through choice. And yes, I have my moments of feeling lonely, a bit down in the dumps. We're social beings, we're human beings, we need social connection. And that's when I'll ring my friends and say, do you fancy going out Thursday night? Let's book our favourite table. There's a film on, do you want to go and watch it? Popping into my friends and saying, I've just popped round for a brew. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to do that for you, because people out there don't know that you're feeling lonely, don't know that you need that connection. And even if you're in relationships where you're feeling lonely, then why are you in that relationship? There's nothing worse than being with somebody and still feeling lonely. You can do that on your own, and then you can take that little bit of excitement and joy and entertainment as and when you please. So being 30, being a virgin, being bisexual is not the problem. The problem is you're isolating yourself, maybe through fear of your circumstances. You're making them up to be a lot bigger than what they are. And I think you should start having a bit of a social life and maybe dip your toe in the dating pool and see where it takes you. These are very exciting things to be at your door. These are not problems. These are exciting adventures that you're going to explore, and I wish you the best of luck. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have a problem. Well, you've come to the right place, because it's Sunday service. I have a problem with my new partner and I don't know what to do. There are certain foods I absolutely cannot stand. It's elongated, so I think that's how they meant it. I can't even be near some of the foods, let alone eat them. But my partner loves these foods. Person does not say what foods are talking about, and they don't seem to understand how hard it is for me. It's making me dread meals together because I feel so uncomfortable. But he thinks I'm just being picky or overreacting. How do I get him to understand without causing a big argument? It's actually quite sad, that, isn't it? Because that's somebody who's got a certain anxiety, a certain affliction. It's really not something they can be around. And it's like people who are frightened of rats or spiders or heights. It's a true fear. This person has a true fear of these certain foods, and they absolutely can't stand them. And they've got a really nice relationship with a new partner, and this new partner loves these kind of foods. Let's say it's kidney beans, because I cannot stand kidney beans. They pop in your mouth like talcum powder. They're absolutely vile. However, I'm with a new partner and he loves kidney beans. He loves popping them in his mouth. He loves swirling them around. I can hear him crunching. I can hear him popping. Does this partner think you're just being picky and overeating because you've kind of downplayed your fear? You know, there's got to be empathy here. There's got to be empathy and understanding and compromise in any relationship, whether it comes to the fear of certain foods or certain habits or lifestyle choices. So it's about having an open conversation before you say goodbye to this relationship and tell them, listen, I've even wrote into an agony aunt because I really can't be around you when you are eating ABC, because this is how it makes me feel. I don't know why I'm like that. I've had therapy, I haven't had therapy, whatever it may be. But honestly, I can't be in your company when you're doing that. And I don't want to stop you eating kidney beans. I'm using that as an example. But I prefer it if you eat them on the nights we're not together, because I really like our relationship. I'm happy in our relationship. I just don't want to be with you on the nights that you really want a chili con carne. I don't know what else to say to you, sweetheart. Yeah, and I think they should certainly not make you eat the foods that you can't stand. You're dreading having that lovely downtime together of a lovely meal. Maybe you cook the meal. Ask them what they do like and what they don't like, and the things they like that you fear, take out and make something else and enjoy meals that way. But I think the communication is, if somebody really likes you and cares for you, and you say, I really don't like kidney beans, they terrify me, then you'd like to think that that person liked you enough to not terrify you by popping a kidney bean. Do you know what I mean? So I think it needs to be further communication. And you're right, it's not about picky or overreacting, about being picky. It's something you really feel that strongly about, and maybe it's another conversation, so they kind of are being educated by your fear of said food. What do you think the food is? I mean, I haven't actually got fear of food. I don't know. Clearly I've not got fear of food. Clearly, Aunty Nelly does not fear food. Clearly. Yeah, it's a funny one, is that? But I think that's for everything, isn't it, in a relationship? I prefer it if you didn't. And it is about communication and compromise. It is, because you don't want to do something that makes your partner feel uncomfortable. And that's in all areas of a relationship. If your partner feels uncomfortable and asks you not to, and it's not like, I don't like it when you breathe, that person has to breathe. We need oxygen. We need to breathe or we die. So unless they're asking something absolutely ridiculous that is like detrimental to health, then I think it, can you compromise? There you go. I think if Corinne's just made a really good point, could be allergic. If you were allergic, I think that's completely different. I don't think she's saying she's allergic. I think she's just saying she really can't stand to be around this certain kind of food for fear. Vegan, absolutely, Maria, I'm vegan. It doesn't matter to me if I go out and eat with all my friends and they all get, I don't know, chicken curries or roast chicken dip. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm not doing it and it's not on my plate, it doesn't matter to me. Somebody could be terrified by a chicken leg, absolutely, maybe it's that, I don't know. But I would certainly put my point across a little bit stronger. Dear Aunty Nelly, I'm starting to feel really uneasy about my neighbour. Oh, okay. There's just something off about the way they act. Neighbour and neighbours. Oh, it's an American one, this, because they've not put a U in. Okay. They always watch what I'm doing and it feels like they're listening in on my conversations too. Sometimes I hear strange noises coming from their house late at night and it's making me suspicious. I don't want to jump to conclusions or accuse them of anything. Get off the trampoline then, love, because up to now, that's what it kind of sounds like. But I can't shake the feeling that something's not right. What should I do? Should I confront them or just mind my own business? You're right, well, you just feel a bit uneasy around this person. That's like your gut instinct saying they're a bit weird, kind of. And then you can hear noises at night. Well, you'll hear noises at night. My neighbours will hear noises at night from me, and I hear noises at night from them because they're my neighbours. Like, do you know what I mean? We don't live in a detached house, so they will hear. And I don't want to judge something listening. Why do you feel they're listening on your conversations? And why would it matter what you're talking about? Do you work for MI6? I'm not sure what you're doing here, but I certainly won't confront them because it'll just make you look fucking weird. Weird as fuck. Are you watching too many murder mysteries, too many bloody, I don't know, CSIs or something? You're a little bit suspicious in your mind. Is it just of your neighbours or is it about other people too? I'm not saying you've got a mental health condition, but I think if this is something that you're feeling about people around you, you feel a little bit, what's the word, a little bit suspicious of people, you're feeling like people are watching you, listening, is it just your neighbours or is it other people as well? Because that sounds to me like you could be struggling with something and you may need to see a general practitioner. You can't shake the feeling that something's not right. It might just be you. But if your gut says to you, they're a bit weird, then keep your distance. You can say good morning, but you don't have to go around for a cup of sugar, and you certainly don't need to let them in your property. I don't know what you mean by conversations they're listening to. What kind of conversations are you having that you're a bit worried that if somebody picks up on it? Because, yeah, that's also... I certainly wouldn't confront them, and I certainly would just mind my business. Yeah. If this continues though, and you start being paranoid is the word, you start feeling paranoid in other areas of your life, whether it be at the workplace or you're just going for a walk and you think people are looking at you funny or making you feel a certain way, it could be a little bit of paranoia, and I would go and speak to my doctor about it and say I'm feeling a bit paranoid and I don't know why, and just have a mental health checkup. So yeah, everything you've said to me there is just you feeling uneasy. And sometimes we do get a little bit of a red flag, a little bit of spider senses tingling because we're around people that are just a bit odd. I get that. But the fact that they're making noises at night in their own home next door, unless you're living in detached, yeah, you're going to hear it. And what conversations are you having where you feel like if they're listening, they shouldn't be? Moving on. Ricky next door will be able to hear Sunday service now. He'll be able to hear Sunday service. And believe me when I say I'll see you soon, drill will start back up because he knows I've finished. Do you know what I mean? So your neighbours can hear you, whether it's as I'm talking to you now or more muffled or a bang or a toilet flushing or, I don't know, a door banging. When you live in a terraced house or a semi-detached, they can kind of hear you. Okay? Dear Aunty Nelly, hello. I come from a really big family and honestly, I find it embarrassing when people find out. Whenever someone asks me about my family, I tell them how many siblings I have. They act shocked or make jokes about it. It makes me feel awkward, like I'm weird or something. But I love my family and I hate feeling like I have to explain myself or deal with people's comments. I think they mean comments. How can I handle this without feeling so self-conscious all the time? Is this even real? My mum came from a family of 13, 12, and 3 died. So I had my mum and then 8 aunties and uncles, and that's why we've got 17 million cousins. I don't know what you're embarrassed about. Is it because people make the joke of like, how many, oh, there's 5 of us, bloody hell, could your mum and dad not afford a TV licence? Is it that kind of joke? Why are you embarrassed to come from such a lovely, big, loving family? There's nothing embarrassing about that. There's only me and my brother, but had my mum have had another 3 kids, there'd be 5 of us. They're your siblings. They've as much right to be here as you have and love each other. Sometimes people do make jokes out of things like that. It is a common thing here in the Rosendale Valley, I'll say, that if you're from a large family, people will say they mustn't have had a bloody TV licence. They may have had a TV licence, they just might have just liked to have a big family. It's not always about the sex side of it, or dad can't keep his hands off mum, or the withdrawal method didn't work, or the religious, or whatever. It might just be that they really wanted a big family. And how lovely is that you've got lots of siblings? How lovely is that to get you through life? And some you'll feel a closer connection with than others maybe. Then you'll have all these nieces and nephews who'll look up to you. You've got this gorgeous big bloodline. I think that's a positive. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Certainly nothing at all to feel self-conscious about. There's people out there who have nobody. They've no mum, they've no dad, they've no siblings, and they feel very, very lonely. And they make the friends the family. But you haven't got that. You've got a gorgeous big family. And I think it's something to be applauded. It's nothing to be embarrassed about at all. And if people do feel that, why do you have to explain yourself? What is it? Why do you feel that you need to explain why you come from a big family? What the fuck has it got to do with them? They want to make the jokes. Make the fucking jokes. Probably they're making the jokes because that's what they think they have to do. Laugh along with them. Brush it off. This is nothing to be embarrassed about. This is not a problem. This is you just showing off. Just showing off that there's loads of you. I'm sure it were really difficult at Christmas times if you celebrate it with all them kids. And I'm sure your mum will probably struggle to remember all the names, the date of birth, because I only had one child and I struggle. So kudos to her. But yeah, you've come from a lovely big family. That is not an issue at all. So embrace that big family, love it for holidays, enjoy each other, because one day that family will get smaller and smaller. And there's only my mum, my Aunty Anna and my Aunty Elvia left of the 9 siblings now. And one day that chain will connect again when they're all gone, it will, but pieces of that chain start falling off and you'll miss them. So enjoy them and don't let the white noise outside of it make you feel any kind of way. You love your family. You said you're from a lovely big family and you love them. Good for you. Good for you. I'm pleased for you, because believe me, you'll miss them when they're no longer here. So there you go. Enjoy it. Dear Aunty Nelly, I've got an issue. My wife, that's really stressing me out. Right, so you've got an issue with your wife. She's really stressing you out. Right. When she's at work, she's not allowed to answer her phone. And I totally get that, but I'm not allowed to answer mine at work either. Okay? The problem is she doesn't seem to understand that I can't answer the phone. And if I miss her call, she gets upset and sometimes even shows up at my workplace. It's embarrassing. And this person has not typed it very well, but we'll get there. Right, okay, right, okay. So, wife works, you work. Wife has phone, you have phone. Wife not allowed to answer phone at work. You not allowed to answer phone at work. So you don't ring wife at work because you know she's not allowed to answer. Right. However, she completely dismisses that rule and rings you, missed calls, text messages, FaceTimes, where are you? You're not answering because you're at work and you're not allowed. Maybe you haven't seen the phone calls. Maybe you're not allowed to answer them because your boss may say that's, breach contract, whatever. But then she rocks up at the workplace to say, why have you not answered your phone? Absolutely, it's embarrassing. It's a complete disregard for, number one, your workplace. Number two, your relationship. What on earth is happening that she's having to rock up at your workplace to question why you're not answering your phone when you're not allowed to answer your fucking phone? There's a lot more going on here. I don't know whether you've missed half the message out or there's a trust issue here. Have you given her the work number for emergencies only? If there's an emergency, the kids are sick, I don't know if you've got kids, the house burns down, we get burgled, you need to be taken to hospital, this is a number you ring and they'll get the message to me. I am not allowed to answer my phone at work because if I do, I'm going to get a disciplinary and it could result in losing my job and not having a job and not being able to pay the bills. What bit of it does she not understand? I think she does understand that. I think she's just a person who is very controlling, needs to know where you are at all times, needs to have that kind of connection with you at all times, which is very unhealthy, and is a person that's not very trusting. If I'm incorrect with the way of this person and the character, please tell me. But this is not a healthy relationship. You should be able to say in the morning, bye now, I'm going to work. And you shouldn't have to say hello again until you walk in the door. Now, if you send the odd message at dinner time, hi, hope your day's going okay, or just reminding you the boiler man's coming round at 4:15, fine. But when you're at work, you should be at work, and so should she. And if she's got time in her day to be giving you that many missed calls, rocking up at your workplace, what is she doing in her own fucking job? And why is her boss not monitoring her? If she's not allowed to use her phone at work, how's she managing to use her phone at work? Do they think she's got fucking dysentery? Sit her down and just tell her. It's embarrassing. It's as if you don't trust me. I've been took in the office and told that it's not acceptable. Here's the number for future. Ring that if there's an emergency. And I mean an emergency. And if there isn't, I'll see you tonight. I don't know if there's been cheating in the past between you, whether she doesn't trust you. I don't know whether she's got this really, I don't know, kind of like she needs to be with you all the time. She needs that affirmation that, hello, hello, hello. There's got to be a reason sometimes why there's no trust. There's got to be a reason why people who can get a job in the first place can't kind of let go, break that bond for 8 hours a day. It's weird. I think there's a lot more to this than what you're saying. So maybe there's been trust issues in the past. Maybe you've said you were at work in the past and maybe you weren't. Sometimes, you know, it takes a lot for a person to trust you again. But I certainly would give her that number. And if it's an emergency and the person at the other end at work deems it an emergency, they will come for you. But put your phone away, and then you don't have to deal with it until you walk out. And if she does come to the workplace again, I would let my bosses know, say, listen, this is happening. Don't let her in unless it's an absolute emergency. But then it's bringing all that toxic baggage to your workplace, isn't it? It is embarrassing. I think there's a lot more to this story, Flower Pots. Do you? I don't know. I've got slight suspicions here, because I would want my partner to go to work. I would want my partner to pull the weight and bring in a wage, and I wouldn't want to jeopardise that in any kind of way. But some people are just fucking weird. They are. Just some people are just fucking weird. I use the term bunny boiler lightly, but some people really do need to know where the partners are at every fucking moment. They track the phones, they put trackers on the vehicles. They do it because, you know, they're so insecure. They have no trust. You know, they've been hurt by others, and that, you know, that in order for them to heal themselves, they don't. They jump straight into new relationships, and then they bleed on the others who've never hurt them. That can happen. And I think if it's not that, it could be that. But I think, yeah, you're in quite a unhappy relationship. It's not a happy relationship. That can't be a nice relationship for either of you. The anxiety she must feel must be horrific on a daily basis. I mean, God forbid she stands outside the door when you're gone for a week because she doesn't believe you. But I think anybody who has that much control, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. You should be able to go out for the day and maybe leave your phone at home, like we did in the olden days when we only had 3 TV channels and life was black and white. Maybe you should be able to leave your phone at home because you forgot it and just pick it back up that night, and there should be no questions. Just like, oh, bloody hell, you left your phone at home. I rang you didn't answer. Yeah, my phone were in car, or I ran out of battery. It shouldn't be a thing where, well, I'll have to turn up at the workplace. Yeah, it's not a happy relationship. You need to work on this relationship, and you need to understand why that behaviour is happening. What is the foundation of that? Has somebody hurt her? Why are you having to pay the price for that? Does she need some healing? Does she need a bit of therapy? There's a lot going on here. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, I know a girl. I know lots of girls. This girl has... Oh, this is a bit juicy. You ready? Get ready. I know a girl who has set up a GoFundMe claiming she has an illness. But I know 100% she's lying. What are you lying for? What are you lying? Because I know her medical history. Oh, it makes me so angry, especially because there are real people suffering from this illness who could genuinely use the help. I feel like it's so wrong. It is. It's fraud. But I'm in a tough spot because I can't explain how I know. You know because you work as a doctor's receptionist, or you've got access to you're a medical receptionist. That's how you know. But you can't let people know you know because you're not supposed to know. Yeah? Okay? So I can't let people know how I know. And I'm in a tough spot because I can't explain how I know without breaking someone's trust or crossing a line. I think it's a phone line, a work line. Should I report this? And if so, how could I do it the right way without making things worse? Thanks. So sometimes when you work in the medical field as a doctor's receptionist, I was one of the very few nice ones, I believe, or a medical receptionist, so you've got access to people's notes, whether you work in the police and you can check people's records. there is a GDPR there, and there is a NDA that you have to sign. So whatever you see here or read at work stays in the workplace. It's not something you discuss out of the workplace. It's illegal. It's not good practice. So if you've now seen this person on social media and they've set up a GoFundMe saying, I've got whatever, can you help me? And people are going, oh my God, I'm so sorry, here's £10, here's £20, here's £30. Number one, it's fraud, and yes, you can report that. You can report it through the GoFundMe, and you can say, I'm reporting this as fraud, and you can do it anonymously. Absolutely. But what I would also say is, and this is a very clever way to be, if you screenshot that GoFundMe, and if you do work at a doctor's, you can actually just give that to the doctor without saying anything and just say, I'd like you to see this, and let them then go in, because it's a different investigation then to that fraud. They've got a right for medical negligence. It's classed as like a negligence. So yes, you can report that anonymously, and I think it is absolutely disgusting behaviour, fraud. People who lie about having certain illnesses, people who lie about having illnesses, it's like Munchausen's in a sense, isn't it? It's not by proxy because they're lying about themselves. But yeah, that person obviously needs help. I know that it's quite deviant behaviour. It's a heinous crime, absolutely. It is fraud. However, that person is looking for attention because why? Because there's something not right, is there? So they need looking at. So you need to bring it to the attention of a professional if you can. I'm assuming you're in that line of work. I'm not saying you are. Don't know who you are. You're anonymous. You're all anonymous. But you can report that anonymously, and then it'll ask you a few little bits of why do you think that, and then you can say why, maybe, in a roundabout fashion, and still be anonymous. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Anybody that commits fraud like that, yes, we can report it and should report it. And number two, let the professionals deal with that. You know, it's like whistleblowing. You're not whistleblowing in the sense of where you don't think somebody deserves that. God forbid they are going through the worst time of their life and they need that help. This is fraud. It's fraud, but you're also really in the background getting help for somebody who may really need it. They may be really, really unwell as to why they've got Munchausen's, as to why they're displaying they've got an illness they haven't really got. So do your bit and report it anonymously, and let the people who are in charge take care of that themselves, and then you've done your bit and you can sleep sounder at night. Well, flower pots, that's been the first Sunday service of 2025. What did you think of that? I thought it was quite nice, quite good. There was a message in there I didn't read because I feel it may be triggering for some people, and I like nice, light-hearted entertainment. If you do write into Sunday service, please do. If you do, if you wish to, if you want to write into Sunday service, where you're writing is to the page, whether it be Sunday service or Night Time with Nelly. I'm praying there's some Night Time with Nelly for Wednesday night. That is something that is really good fun. If you are watching me on catch up replay, thank you. If you have watched me live, also thank you. So give me that like, give me that love, give me that share. Thank you so much for joining me. Please keep writing into the page. I am dropping a new review very, very soon. It was a shower of shite. I've probably done it fucking wrong, and that's okay, because I'm not an MUA, I'm not joining masterclasses, and I'm not being paid to do it. And I think the people who buy the items, such as I did, will also struggle with it. But I hope you've enjoyed today's Sunday service. You'll see a new review very, very soon, the minute I've edited it and thrown it on for you. And I'll see you all very soon as well. So give me that like, give me that love, give me that share. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.